Episode 10 of Ballard starts its finale with Ballard rushing to Gary Perlman's house. She finds the paramedics loading Ted into the ambulance and quickly realizes that Gary took Ted's car and puts out a bolo. Jake arrives a few minutes later and Ballard breaks the sad news to him. As expected, Jake is too shocked to believe his dad is a serial killer. Unfortunately, by the time Ted is rushed to the hospital, he's lost a lot of blood. The doctors try their best, but Ted unfortunately passes away. The captain quickly sets up a team to track Gary and bring him in. While the other officers think that Gary is running, Ballard believes he will come back to kill Naomi. The captain gives her a chance to reach out to Gary through the media. She holds a press conference and tries to convince Gary to turn himself in, and Jake joins her too. But Gary is not one to give up. As the investigation continues here, they discover that Gary was not Sarah's biological dad. They believe Sarah's mum had an affair, and unfortunately, after Ballard's plan fails, the captain asks her to take a step back from the investigation. Meanwhile, Gary has the police running in circles, thinking he has already crossed the border. A few days later, Jake visits the office to give Ballard some of Gary's files. He informs her that he is no longer running for office, but she will have the council's support. Jake is having a hard time wrapping his mind around what his dad did, and he asks Ballard to bring his dad in alive if that's possible. Later that evening, Gary attacks Ballard at the office. A fight ensues and Ballard takes Gary down, and after his arrest, Gary does confess to his crimes, but the case is obviously still ongoing as he has more victims out there. It turns out Gary hated seeing women being happily independent or making choices for themselves. Killing them was his way of punishing them. Bosch later visits Ballard and is stunned that Gary killed Laura because she was happy to quit her waitress job and become a model. Bosch also offers to help Ballard find out more information on Olivaz's case. After doing everything possible to locate Gael, Lafont finds a lead. He follows this lead and after a DNA test, he not only finds the boy, but also reunites him with his mum. Olivaz's wife confronts Ballard next for ruining her husband's career. Instead of arguing with her, Ballard sends her to the captain to find out the truth herself. Unfortunately, Bosch learns that the DA has made a deal with Olivaz. Out of the 7 corrupt cops, Olivaz is the only one who gets to walk free. Ballard is disappointed and confronts the DA about this. She then drives to Olivaz's house and has a heated confrontation with him. Olivaz mocks her the whole time, but Ballard tells him that his facade is breaking down. She notes that she's already had the captain talk to his wife, and Ballard takes pleasure in knowing that Olivaz's wife has already taken the kids and left. After learning that Olivaz is walking free, Ballard calls Samira, and they meet for drinks. They find peace that Olivaz is no longer a cop, but obviously disappointed in the failed system. As they drink their disappointment away, a cop car pulls up. The show then ends with Ballard getting arrested for Olivaz's murder, leaving everything wide open for a potential season 2. After years of living in fear and trauma, Naomi is now able to live in peace. Thanks to her, the other victims were able to get justice, and it's hard to imagine the shock and devastation that Jake must be going through finding out about Gary. To learn that his dad not only killed his sister, but is also a serial killer at large must have messed him up. Of course, what happened to Ted must also have shaken him up too, and it makes us wonder and evaluate how much we know the people around us. It's bewildering how many monsters actually walk among us. It's also scary to think of the man who spent all these years in prison over a murder he didn't commit. Even though he was finally released, he can never recover the time that's been lost. The system failed him big time and all these victims for years. That aside, Ballard made a grave mistake going to confront Olivaz. She walks right into a trap and she's now the suspect in his death, and given their history, things can take an even more dramatic twist here. If we get a new season, which at the time hasn't been confirmed, it will be interesting to see how Ballard comes out of this. Olivaz knew a lot about the mafia and they probably killed him. However, Ballard was also one of the last people seen with Olivaz and pulled a gun on him, and it's understandable why she's considered a suspect in his murder. Ultimately, Ballard certainly delivered in this first season. From the first episode to the last, the mystery pulled us in, and it'll be a pity if this show is not greenlit for a new season. However, it does seem to be trending on Prime Video at the moment, ranking as #1 in many countries, so fingers crossed that we get some news on this one in the near future. Thanks for watching, and do let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Smash a like or subscribe to the channel, your support is very much appreciated. I'm Greg Wheeler, and from all of us over here at The Review Geek, we'll see you on the next video.